I want to start by saying something that might sting a little bit. You are probably not lazy, but I'll tell you what, you are definitely stuck. And if you are watching this video right now, there is a decent chance you've been stuck in the exact same position for years. Let me paint the picture. You wake up, go to work, come home, scroll through social media, and watch other people living the life you think you deserve. Maybe you've gotten a raise or two over the past few years. You think, great, now I can finally breathe. But then something weird happens. That breathing room disappears. You upgraded your apartment. Your food costs more. Your subscriptions multiply. You are making more money. But somehow you are feeling more stressed than you were before. Sound familiar? If you are nodding right now, please hit that like button because you are exactly the person this video is for. Here is what I've realized after studying hundreds of financial success stories. The reason most people never make real money isn't because they lazy. It is because they trapped in a system that was specifically designed to keep them spinning their wheels. And the worst part, society has convinced you that this is normal. That slow, grinding progress is the only path that you should be grateful for. Your steady paycheck, your predictable life, your complete and utter lack of genuine progress. I call this trap the stagnation cycle. And it looks a lot like this. You get a job, you work there for 5, 10, sometimes 20 years. You get occasional raises that barely keep up with inflation. Your expenses somehow always expand to match your income. You think you are building wealth, but you are actually on a financial treadmill, moving constantly but going absolutely nowhere. The line on your bank statement stays flat. Your savings account never really grows, and the dream of actual financial freedom just keeps drifting further away. The reason this happens is your fault. When you leave school and enter the working world, nobody sits you down and explains how money actually works. Nobody teaches you about leverage, about passive income, about building assets. Instead of just trading time for money, you are just thrown into the deep end and told to figure it out. So you do what seems safe. You find a job and you stick with it. You follow the path that everyone else is walking. And that path, my friend, leads absolutely nowhere. But here is the thing I've discovered. If you can recognize this stage early, you can actually escape it. And that is what this video is about. I am going to walk you through the exact process that moved me from complete financial stagnation to building real wealth. It is a 5-stage system, and I am going to break down not just what each stage is, but specifically HOW to execute it. Recognition, the first step in escaping the trap, is simply recognizing that you are in one. Most people never get here. They spend their entire lives thinking their financial situation is just the way things are. They blame the economy, the government, their boss, their bad luck. They never stop to think that maybe, just maybe, they following a system that was never designed to help them win. Once you see the trap for what it is, you can start to escape it. And the first concrete action you need to take is brutal honesty about your finances. I want you to track every single dollar you spend for the next 30 days. Not the way you think you spend money, the actual way you spend it. Every subscription, every coffee, every impulse purchase. Categorize it ruthlessly into essential and luxury. Most people are shocked when they do this exercise because they discover they bleeding money in directions they never consciously thought about. Then comes the second step, automation. You need to set up automatic transfers to a savings account the moment your paycheck hits, even if it is just 5% of your income, even if it is just $50 a month. The amount doesn't matter. What matters is that you are starting to interrupt the cycle where every dollar gets spent before you even think about it. You are building the habit of paying yourself first. Stage 2, the awakening. Now here is where it gets interesting and where most people actually fail. You've started saving. Maybe you've got a couple $1,000s built up. You are excited. You think you are on your way, but suddenly you hit a wall. And that wall has 2 names. Your old friends and inflation. Your friends will be your biggest obstacle. I am not saying this to be mean. I am saying it because I watched it happen to me. The moment you start making different financial choices than the people around you, they feel threatened, not consciously, but deep down. Your success is highlighting their inaction. So they do what makes sense to them. They pull you back down. They mock your side hustle. They question why you are not going out as much. They try to make you feel bad for wanting more. This is when you have to make a decision. Are you going to stay comfortable with people who don't challenge you? Or are you going to build new relationships with people who do? The second wall is inflation. This one is mathematical, and it is brutal. Let's say you managed to save $5,000 and you are feeling proud of yourself. You put it in a regular savings account earning 0.5% interest. Sounds safe, right? But inflation is running at 3% per year. That means every year, your $5,000 is actually buying you less and less stuff. In 20 years, that $5,000 will still look like $5,000 in your account, but it will only have the purchasing power of about $2,700. In today's dollars, you think you are saving, but you are actually slowly getting poorer. This is the moment where most people get discouraged and quit. They think, if I can even save money without losing money, what is the point? But this is actually the moment where you need to take your next big step. You need to start investing. If you took that same $5,000 and invested it in something like an index fund tracking the S&P 500, earning an average 7% annual return adjusted for inflation, in 20 years you'd have over $20,000. I am not saying this to guarantee returns. Markets fluctuate. Past performance isn't guaranteed. But I am showing you the mathematical reality of what happens when you let compounding work for you instead of against you. If you want to start investing even with small amounts, there are apps now that make it stupid easy. You can literally start with $5. And if this helps you understand the power of early action, please hit that subscribe button right now because we're just getting started on how to actually make real money. Stage 3, acceleration. Now we're getting to the good part. You've saved some money. You've started investing. You've got your finances under some level of control. But here is the brutal truth. It is still not enough. If you only rely on your day job and modest investing, you are looking at 40 to 50 years before you reach financial freedom. And honestly, that is assuming the market cooperates and your life doesn't throw you any curveballs to actually accelerate. I learned that you need what I call the 3Cs: cash flow, connections, and confidence. Let S start with cash flow. You need active income flowing into your account as fast as possible, not just from your job, from multiple streams. This is where the side hustle comes in. And I know what you are thinking. I am already working full-time. How am I supposed to also run a business? The answer is, you don't have to build Uber or Amazon. You need a service-based side hustle that can generate quick cash with minimal startup costs. When I look at opportunities right now, I see businesses struggling with marketing. They need social media management, content creation, SEO help, copywriting. But hiring a full agency costs tens of thousands. You could position yourself as a freelancer who solves specific problems for business owners. Your first client might take 10 hours of work a week and pay you $500 -1,000 per month. That is an extra $6,000, -12,000 per year. That money doesn't go to rent or food. That money goes directly into investments. The second C is connections. This one changed my life more than anything else. The people you surround yourself with will determine your trajectory. When I started making serious money, I deliberately started connecting with people who were further along than me. I reached out on LinkedIn, I attended networking events, I joined communities of entrepreneurs, and what I discovered is that successful people are usually willing to help if you approach them with genuine interest and respect. These connections opened doors I didn't even know existed. They introduced me to opportunities, taught me lessons that would have taken years to learn on my own, and most importantly, they normalized the idea of financial success. When you spend time around people who are building real wealth, making six figures doesn't seem impossible anymore. It seems inevitable if you just follow the system. The third C is confidence. This is what separates people who actually accelerate from people who stay stuck. Confidence is what allows you to take calculated risks. It is what lets you pitch to a big client even though you are terrified. It is what lets you invest in your education even when you are not sure it will work out. Without confidence, you hesitate at every crucial moment and miss the opportunities that actually move the needle. How do you build confidence? You take small risks and win. You do one thing that scares you, you accomplish it, then you do something slightly scarier. You build a track record of success that is real, not imaginary. Stage 4. Asset building. Here is where the compounding really starts. You've built up some cash flow from your side hustle. You've got investments growing. You've surrounded yourself with winners. Now it is time to start building actual assets. This is the stage where most people fail because they don't understand the difference between assets and liabilities. A liability is something that costs you money. Your car is a liability. Your apartment is a liability. Designer clothes are liabilities. But an asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A rental property is an asset. Dividend-paying stocks are assets. A profitable business is an asset. I see so many people in stage 3 who make great money and then immediately blow it on liabilities. They buy the luxury car, they lease the expensive apartment, they buy designer clothes, and they think this is what success looks like. But it is not. This is what debt looks like dressed up as success. At this stage, your goal is simple. Convert the income you're making into assets that generate passive income. Real estate is one path. Stock investments are another. Digital products that generate passive income is another. The specific asset class doesn't matter as much as the principle. You need your money to be working for you, not the other way around. Stage 5. Mastery and legacy. This is where the game changes fundamentally. At this stage, you've reached financial freedom. Your assets generate enough income to cover your expenses. You can literally stop working tomorrow and be fine. But here's what I've learned. The wealthiest people in the world don't stop here. They don't just sit on a beach in Bali doing nothing. Nothing. They start thinking about legacy at mastery. Your job shifts from making money to managing money and creating systems that outlive you. It is about investing in other people. It is about building something that matters. It is about looking back and knowing that your life meant something beyond just accumulating dollars. But here's the thing. You don't need to have reached stage 5 to start thinking about it. You can start now. You can start investing in yourself. You can start building relationships. You can start creating the systems that will eventually generate passive income. The journey from broke to wealthy is absolutely possible. I've watched hundreds of people do it, but it requires you to break free from the mental chains that society wrapped around you. It requires you to stop listening to people who tell you that slow progress is the only way. It requires you to see free and free shipping and 0% financing for what they actually are. Traps disguised as deals. If this resonated with you, please hit subscribe, drop a like, and let me know in the comments which stage you feel like you're in right now. Are you still in stagnation? Have you started your side hustle? The more I understand where you are, the better I can help you move forward. I'll see you in the next one. I am not a financial advisor, mortgage expert, or licensed financial professional. The content on this channel represents personal opinions only and is intended for educational and entertainment purposes. Please conduct your own research and seek professional guidance before making any major financial decisions. See you next time.